Thancoupie. Thancoupie was born in the 1937 at Webba. It is near Napranum on the western coast of Cape York. It is situated at the far north of Queensland. Ida and Jimmy are her parents. Their family name is James. Thancoupie grew up in a very small community, the small Napranum community. She had attended the mission school within this little community. There are some very interesting stories behind her name. Her birth racial name, Thancoupie, means wattle flower in her mother language. Thancoupie. She was then given the name Gloria Fletcher at her baptism by her mother. Therefore, her name had become Thancoupie Gloria Fletcher James. After many years later, she adopted back the name Thancoupie when she was rediscovering her language. The language Thancoupie. It is one of the indigenous languages. There are a few ways to spell her name, and they all mean the same. Thancoupie had a very charming and grace personality, and because of this lovely nature of her, she was able to make friendships very easily. Jennifer was one of her close friends. She also made friends with the leader of the Craft Council of Australia, Maria Gassard and Jane Burns. The Craft Council of Australia is now known as Craft Australia. It is a useful opportunity to attribute the makers of the craft products, and she was very lucky to be chosen to attend the World Craft Council event overseas. Other than the friendships that she had made, she was also able to create a lot of opportunities in her life. In the 1970s and 1980s, she was exhibited with the best artists, sculptors, and craft makers. Her position was a contemporary artist. Her career was a very outstanding one. She had come across several positions in her life and had definitely impacted many people. She was a ceramic artist. She was a storyteller. She was an educator. She was a community leader. She was an advocate. And she was also a negotiator. Thancoupie started off being a preschool children's educator in her early years. And during the time of that, she was also pursuing her arts as a part-time. In 1969, she made a move. It was a very impressive move. She moved from her remote home, the far north Queensland, the Cape, to a completely new urban environment. She went to Sydney to study ceramics. She has completed her arts and ceramic studies at the East Sydney Technical College. The East Sydney Technical College is now known as TAFE, New South Wales Sydney Institute. It is a technical school with over 100 years of history. It is one of Australia's oldest technical education institutions. Thancoupie had begun her training under the guidance of famed Australians. They are all very outstanding ceramicists. Peter Rushforth. Rushforth was appointed the first full-time teacher at East Sydney Technical College. he had recruited a team of talented artists as teachers. And under his leadership, the ceramics course at East Sydney Technical College has become the most sought after in Australia. Peter Travis. Travis was one of the 8 Australians whom was exhibiting at the International Academy of Ceramics exhibition. He was also very well known as a color consultant, kite maker, and designer. His ceramic work took the form of distinctive architectural sculptures. Derek Smith. Smith was trained as a ceramic designer and art teacher in England before coming to Australia. He has set up a number of studios, and he has also done a lot of teachings across New South Wales and Tasmania. Bernard Sam. Sam was trained as an engineering draughtsman before studying painting and sculpture, and also ceramics at the East Sydney Technical College. He had also had a lot of interest working with clay. The great Japanese Shiga Shigeo. According to Shiga, 99% of his life is pottery. His life is full of craft. He had made works for exhibitions and taught at the National Art School in East Sydney. And also, he ran professional and community workshops around Australia. Thancoupie has also got some very good networks, one of which was Bernice Murphy. Murphy and Thancoupie had travelled to Sao Paulo as Australia's Cultural Commissioner to the 17th Sao Paulo Biennial. Sao Paulo Art Biennial is held every 2 years since 1951. It is the second oldest arts biennial in the world after the Venice Biennial. Sao Paulo Art Biennial hosts mainly the national presentations. Thancoupie had owned a lot of solo and group exhibitions. She owned solo exhibitions of ceramic spheres, subsequently toured in Brazil, Mexico, and the USA. In total, she had produced more than 20 solo exhibitions around the world. With the assistance of her close friend Jennifer Isaacs, she has exhibited in many of Australia's finest commercial galleries, such as the National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne, the Commercial Gallery of Sydney in Sydney, and the Queensland Art Gallery in Brisbane. In 2001, a survey exhibition took place at the Brisbane City Gallery. Thancoupie was represented in all state collections, as well as major national cultural institutions. She has also established the Australia's Indigenous Ceramic Arts movement with the Tiwi potter, Eddie. Her work was represented in the collections of the National Gallery of Australia, also in the art galleries and museums in Victoria, Queensland, and South Australia. The Iran 2010. This was Thancoupie's final great sculptural work. The Iran 2010 is now situated at the entrance of the National Gallery of Australia. It is an amazing piece of Thancoupie's work, and it deserves a lot of respect and admire from the people towards Thancoupie. As a community and storyteller, Thancoupie has been recording the language and stories of the Thanakwith people. She began telling the stories of her community through clay, tile, and other ceramic arts. She had written a book called Thancoupie's Guide to Language and Culture. Thancoupie has spent most of the last 20 years of her life monitoring some aspiring artists from the communities in the far north Queensland, the desert, and also the Tiwi Island. She had also influenced a lot of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students to enroll in the art and professional development courses. The Webpa Festival. This festival had been held consistently over the past 20 years. Thancoupie was the founder of the Webpa Festival. This festival is a celebration of Indigenous arts and performance from all over Australia and is held at Webpa. Thancoupie was also running some holiday programs to teach bush knowledge and art to the younger generations. She brought the Webpa children to get in touch with many ways in Indigenous cultural practices and knowledge of the environment. These are the parts of the art practice internationally. The participants of the festival include teachers and workshop leaders from all over the world. These are some wonderful works of Thancoupie. The Thancoupie's Guide to the Language and Culture, which was a Thanakwith dictionary. Also, the Mosquito Corroboree. And of course, the Iran 2010. Thancoupie had also received a number of awards. In 1998, she was awarded the honorary doctorate from the University of Queensland. In 2003, the Order of Australia, Officer of the Order of Australia. In 2006, Visual Arts Emeritus Award by the Australia Council for the Arts of her career as an Indigenous artist, teacher, and community leader. In 2008, she got the Queensland Great Awards. She has also received 2 honorary doctorates for her services to arts and her work in reconciliation and community support. Her approaches to art practices had always been cultural. She emphasized on encompassing the whole of life, its meaning, the universe, and the interconnectedness of the all living things. She said, all arts were as one. She valued the caring for land in the bush in creative ways and expressing culture as these may be regarded as contemporary arts. Thancoupie is no longer here. She died in 2011 after long illness at the age of 74. She passed away at the Webpa Base Hospital. Although she had left us, her works and passions about arts shall never be forgotten. Also, some of her philosophy.
When children sing, you are with happiness. Make the paper bark into candle holders like little boats to flow down Bochai Creek and out to sea. See, they go in a circle, their little lights shining brightly in the sunset of the sandy beach. they are making the tale of Chang Stingray, fisherman, there he is. We must honor our old people who went before, make headstones or memorial to tell the future who we were. Who were the Nyakweave people? We have a culture and it is from this place. And there are songs and legends so children can be proud of who they are. I am the artist of this. From my mind, it is not for you to say how much or how. I am the owner of it. The artist is the one to give the mind expression to design the way it is. Artists can be talker, singer, manager, curator, yes, dancer of course, and make the work, make the mark.
Thancoupie, thank you for everything that you have done for us.